All right, I'm not sure that the video is going to capture this, but this is the belt installation replacement on a Sony TC-WE435 dual cassette. So what I'm doing is removing, for ease, the bottom two transport mechanism screws. The transport mechanisms are held by 4 screws each inside and 2 screws, one there and one there. There has been a video on this unit that said that the face had to come off to access the transport units, and I have not found that to be the case. So after loosening those, I'm going to remove the 4 side screws, which will let me release the cover. Actually, I think there's one in the back also. Yup. One in the back center that needs to come out too to get the lid off. So the only tools that I needed for this project were 2 screwdrivers. One number 2 and one small one. I don't know what number it is. Maybe a double-aught. So all right, with the 4 black and 1 gold case screws, the cover should just lift up. It did not seem to slide under any parts, and that will leave you looking at this. And I'm going to point out that the transports are held in by those 4 screws. You will need to remove that connection and this ribbon cable, and on the other side this ribbon cable and that connection there. That connection is a little bit different because that side has the record head. You should not have to remove this cable at all, although I did just for convenience. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to pop the left side out just to show you. And you do need to remove the 2 screws that hold the motor to the mount, because that's the only way you can thread the main belt around the spindle. So here we go. I'm going to put this down. I don't know that it will show, but I'm going to use the small screwdriver to back out the 4 screws. And you know, just because I'm going to have to do it anyway, I'm going to remove the ribbon cable and set that aside. All right, now you will notice that the transport will start to loosen up. Now, one thing you will need to do is pop the face, and then pressing down on this, but not this, you lift up with your fingers, and that should release the face, which you can see is held on essentially by little hooks. So when you put it back on, you basically line up those hooks and then slide down maybe 2 millimeters. All right, so this thing is ready to come out other than the connector. Now, this is where the other video seemed to think that you had to take the face off. And what I did, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this. What I did was I was able to flex the board just a little bit. And I understand flexing a PCB is not the greatest thing in the world. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to lift this up, and basically once this can clear the PC board, you're going to pull out from the bottom at kind of a lifting the, almost like an old style garage door. And then this piece here will be allowed to go under the plastic fascia there. So I'm going to push that PCB board down and show you that this does in fact fully come out without having to remove the face or loosen any of the face screws. All right, now to get to the motor, which you're going to have to, and I've cut the belts on this one, but to get this motor off, what you'll see, you'll have to, I think, because I couldn't get a straight screwdriver in there anyway, and it just made more sense to do that. What I did to remove this door is take off this bracket, and that will allow you to take the other side of the door out of that keyway on the other bracket, removing it with its spring. And that little bracket screw is tiny, so I'm going to move that. And that's what you got, folks. The 2 motor mount screws are accessed through there. And I don't know if this unit itself works. I'm assuming it was throwing error codes because the belts were not registering that the transport mechanism was moving. What I'll probably do is, although they're in really good shape, I probably will replace the pinch rollers. Apparently there's a company somewhere in Eastern Europe that will sell the pinch rollers. Right now I just want to make sure. This was a $3.99 tape recorder, dual cassette recorder at Goodwill. I just want to see if the thing will work. So I'm going to end this now at part 1, and it's about 9 minutes. And I'm going to go find my belts, and then part 2 will show the extraction of the motor. And you only need to do that really to slip the other one end of the belt over. The other belt, it appears, can be thread onto its pulleys just without moving anything. So I'm going to do that first, then pick the motor up, or release the motor mount screws, pull the motor mount away from its bracket, thread that end of the belt on, and we'll go from there. All right, folks, keep posted for part 2.